Stepping off the airplane, out the car, or off the boat, smelling the new unfamiliar air, hearing the birds chirp. When I think of traveling, that is what I picture. The first time I can actually remember traveling, it was nothing like that. I stepped off the boat in Finland and was greeted by bone-chilling cold, wind, and gray. Your typical midwinter weather. There's nothing else really that I can remember about that trip, except for one thing. We were somewhere in Helsinki, which is the capital of Finland, and we were climbing these really big stairs. I couldn't have been more than 4, and the steps of these stairs were almost as tall as I was. So my dad had to lift me and my younger brother up after we failed to get up ourselves. It wasn't anything special, but for some reason, it's something that I remember today, more than 10 years later. To me, this is what traveling is all about. To me, this is what traveling is all about. Learning, experiencing, and creating memories. Even the smallest, most insignificant things can leave big impacts on your life. I surveyed the class, and almost every single one of you have been outside of Michigan, and more than half of you have been outside of America. So you probably know what I'm talking about when I say traveling is something pretty special. And you probably agree with me when I say that seeing new places is something that you should try to do as many times as possible. You don't have to travel very far to see new places. That's the beauty of it. Every time you explore someplace new, you widen your horizon a little. It doesn't matter if it's across the ocean or just to the next town. Exploring new places gives you knowledge and experiences you could otherwise not even dream of. As I mentioned before, many of you have traveled. In numbers, 96% of you have left the state, and 57% of you have left the country. And even though I got quite a wide variety of answers, on average, you have visited, you have visited 12 states and 5 countries. There are reasons so many of you have visited new places. For starters, by exploring and widening your horizon, you will learn so much that you could never find in a textbook about different cultures, the world, and even yourself. Sure, you can read about the different cultures in different countries and how they think and what they do, but you won't truly know until you experience it for yourself. When reading about India, maybe the biggest difference is how they don't eat beef because the cows hold it to them. But if you actually were to go there, you would notice things that are maybe even a bigger difference. How they behave towards each other, how they talk and walk, and just everyday things. Things that you would take for granted here in America that they would never dream of doing, or things that seem like no biggie to them that is absolutely shocking to you. According to dumblittleman.com, traveling is important to help prevent narrow-mindedness and bigotry. Learning about different cultures will make you see the world differently and will make you realize that the world isn't as black and white as you might have thought. This giant ball we're living on will seem like a much smaller place once you start exploring it. You will also learn so much on a smaller scale, but about something equally important, yourself. It might sound cheesy and cliche, but it's true. When you start learning about what's out there and how many different ways there are to live and view the world, you will start to think, is the way I'm living now the way I want to live? Am I happy? In some cases, the answer might be yes. You've seen what the world has to offer and you're perfectly content staying the way you are. But in some other cases, the answer might be no. Maybe you've always felt a little out of place or like something's missing. You might have to go across the world to find what you're looking for, or maybe just to the next state, or even just the next town. You never know when or where you will learn something important and maybe even life-changing. As greenhearttravel.org says, you learn in the most uncomfortable, unfamiliar situations. So by putting yourself out there and seeing new things, you will learn a lot. In many cases, you learn by experiencing, and experiencing both new and old things is something that you will do a lot while traveling. The things you experience might be good or they might be bad. They might change your life or just be a fleeting moment carried away by the wind. Either way, these experiences will form and shape you, and they will be something unique and just for you. just for you. It's also the experiences that you will remember forever. Not all of them, maybe not even half of them, but the ones that matter. And that's the great thing about experiences. You decide if they matter or not. You could go to the Bahamas and tan on the beautiful white beaches, and after a couple of years, you barely even remember it at all. But then one time, you and your dad decided to go out with your bikes to find the perfect place for a picnic, and you remember that day for the rest of your life. Whether you're going by yourself or with a group of friends, a long or a short ways, you will create memories that will stay with you forever. These are memories and experiences you can only get by exploring new places. You will learn and experience things that you could never even dream of if you just dare to explore new places. Traveling isn't about going on expensive trips or trying to see who can do the most in the shortest amount of time. It's about exploring new places, nearby and far away, learning about yourself and the world you live in, and most importantly, it's about experiencing things. So now, I want to leave y'all with a challenge. Go somewhere new.